excuse my French, but you fucking what? We're 5 months into the year and you don't know what your actual turnover or profit was last year. You could be going broke. Delusional thinking. The lies we tell ourselves to justify inactivity or failure. The vast focus of our vision should be on where we're going, what's in front of us, and where our destination is. Like the windscreen is so much bigger than the rear view or the side mirrors. If you want to be successful, you need to employ people. And then you need to ask yourself, how do I attract, train, motivate, and retain the best people? Whatever it is you want, set a goal, lock in that sat nav, work out the route, and then follow that route like you would follow a sat nav. If it said turn left, you wouldn't turn right. Today I want to talk about a podcast called Delusional Thinking. The lies we tell ourselves to justify inactivity or failure. Now this has come from, in the last month or so, here we are when I'm filming this, it's the beginning of February. Okay, people started January with lots of big ideas, lots of big resolutions, what they're going to achieve this year. Every day I'm going to make some calls. Every day I'm going to do some exercise. Every day I'm going to work towards my goals. And already we're not even much more than a month away, but excuse my bluntness, the bullshit and excuses are coming out. You know, the 11th commandment, as I was taught by one of my mentors, was thou shalt not kid thyself. You are exactly where you deserve to be based on the thinking that you've got, the goals that you set, and the actions you take. So if you want some different things in your life, you need to do some different things in your life. I want to spend the next 30 minutes or so going through the 10 things that are the biggest reasons for people's failure. The 10 bullshit excuses that people make to justify, oh, I'm a bit tired, I'm not well, I haven't got the right people, my partner's not supporting me, the government are terrible. Wake up, take responsibility. You are responsible. Let's make you responsible for your own success or failure. Because you know what? Winners are not whiners. And leaders do what it takes. They don't wait for someone else to bring it to them. They don't wait for someone else to make it happen. If it's going to happen, it'll happen because you make it happen. So let's talk about some of those things. I'm known as a bare knuckle mentor. I want everyone to win. There is not a mentee that I have that I don't want to see success. I want to be their toughest mentor because I want to be their biggest cheerleader. And trust me when I say that. And I know what that can do because that's what mentors were like for me. If they want a cuddle, I'll give them a cuddle, but I'm not a cuddler. Go to your mum, go to your partner, go to your kid. They'll give you a lovely warm cuddle. But you want to be successful? Let me tell you, in the last week alone, the 10 things I'm going to share with you, I've heard people whine about, whinge about. Do you know how ugly that is? You know how terrible that is to just hear knowing that they have everything they need to be successful, but they're not taking the action that they need to get the reaction or the success that they're after. Okay, let's start with number 1, the mother of all failure, procrastination. Mike, I really want to work with you. I really want you to help me. I just need to sort some things out first, Mike. Can you bear with me a little while? And this is where people, they want the help. They want the support. They want the mentoring, but they just don't want to commit and they want to push it down the road. And you know what? If they don't change, if they don't commit, if you don't change, if you don't commit, you are going to become, I would have, I could have, I should have, but I didn't. And do you really want to go to your deathbed saying, I would have, I could have, I could have been a football player, I could have been a millionaire, I could have been successful, I could have prepared and given to my kids, looked after my mum in her older age or my dad, but I could have, I would have, I didn't. Okay, let's talk about procrastination. If you want to change some things in your life, you need to change some things in your life. If you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you're getting. And so let's think about it. If you say, I can't afford it yet, Mike, that's exactly why you should do it. If you say, I haven't got the time yet, Mike, that's exactly why you need some mentoring, because you haven't got the time, you haven't got the money, you haven't got the success because you keep doing the same shit that you've always done. If you want to change some things in your life, change some things in your life. So ask yourself, What do you need to do to get from where you are to where you want to be? Okay. You have never done it on your own. You are bumbling along through life probably. You have massive dreams. They've come for you. Massive hopes. They've come to you, but you are not exploiting them. You are not delivering them. And the biggest single reason is because you are not taking the action. You are not building the relationships. You are not getting the support. You are not employing the right people or doing the right things to take you from where you are to where you want to be. Procrastination is the mother of failure. Action is the mother of success. And so when are you going to take action? Stop talking about it. Start doing it. Stop planning it. Start taking action. Stop bullshitting yourself and others as to how good you are. Because what I've heard is it's 95% attitude and only 5% aptitude. Okay, 5% ability. How can that be, Mike? If I've only got 5% ability, however excited I've been, how can I make that right? Well, because I can employ aptitude or ability. It's not about ability, it's about action. Take action. I've got planning to do, Mike. I just want to put some things in place. I've got to sort a few problems out. For God's sake, spare me, will you? Spare yourself. I don't care. I've got a life that I just wake up every day and pinch myself. I've got a family that I am so excited about. Every day I'm excited about where they're going, what they're doing, what they bring to me in terms of fulfillment, in terms of happiness. If you haven't got that, change some stuff. Honestly, have a word. Procrastination, the mother of all failure. Don't be a procrastinator. Do you need a strategy? So that's the second point, strategy. Yes, of course you need a strategy. What is a strategy? Well, do you know what? It's a map. A sat nav, if you're going somewhere you don't know, we look on Google Maps. We get a sat nav. We look on Waze or another mapping system. We know where we are. It knows where we are. We plug in where we want to be. Boom, it works the route out. You can choose different vehicles if you want. You can choose the fastest route, the most scenic route, the cheapest route. Choose what you like, but you still need a route to follow. And without a map or a strategy, you're probably not going anywhere fast. You may even be going in the wrong direction fast. So when people say to me, I don't need a strategy, Mike, it reminds me of what my mentor once said to me. Mike, you don't need a strategy, stay broke. That used to make the hairs on my neck go up. I used to hate it. Firstly, I thought, well, I'm not broke. And he says, well, you are in a way, because you're broke when it comes to time, Mike. You've never got enough time. You're broke when it comes to constantly missing things that your kids are doing, things that are going on with your family, because you're too busy. Why are you too busy? Because you're broke when it comes to having a strategy. Or you're working really hard, but I'm broke still. Why? Because you're on that treadmill. If you don't get a strategy for your life, your business, and whatever you want to achieve, you will stay broke. So the answer is, he was right. You don't need a strategy. Stay broke. Or get a map. Set your sat nav to where you want to be, the life you want to have, the amount of time you want to work, the amount of time you want to spend with your family, on your own health, towards earning income goals, towards retiring your mum or your dad, or giving back to your community, or setting up an academy to help underprivileged children. Whatever it is you want, set a goal, lock in that sat nav, work out the route, and then follow that route like you would follow a sat nav. If it said turn left, you wouldn't turn right. Follow the sat nav. Get a strategy, follow that strategy. The third thing I often say is, people won't grow until you let them go. Okay, what does that mean? What it means is often we are holding our business down by being a full-on leader. How can you hold your business back, Mike, if you're being a good leader? I didn't say a good leader, I said a full-on leader. A leader that never lets go is not a leader. You know, what was it Steve Jobs said? Or no, actually it was Branson. What is Branson said? Get the best people and then get the fuck out of their way. If they're the right people, get out of their way. Don't be a control freak. I meet so many entrepreneurs every single day who say to me, I'm not a control freak. I've got great people, Mike. And then ding, the phone goes, oh, sorry, Mike, can you bear with me? Ding, 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 ding. Or pick up the phone. Listen, do this, do that, do that. They're not free of their business at all. They're not delegating at all. And I don't mean delegating in a push the shit down. I mean delegating in the way of trusting people to do the job that they are qualified to do, that you have asked them to do, that they have the capability to do, but you often don't let them go. You don't give them the freedom. I remember a lady once, a marketing director of Budgeon's Musgrave retail stores, hundreds of stores. She was a marketing director. Stephanie was her name. And she said to me once, she was going off for a 9-month leave, having a baby, maternity leave. And I said, Stephanie, the business is going through so much change. Are you not worried that when you come back, it will be a completely different business? And she said, you know, Mike, when I had my first 2 kids, I did worry a little bit. But what I found was when I stepped back and I focused on just being a mum to that new baby, giving it a good start, because I wasn't involved in the business, they stepped up. Because I wasn't there to default to, because they weren't used to me being there taking charge all the time, even though they had the ability to make their own decisions and make good decisions. Because I wasn't there, they stepped up. They took responsibility, because most people are responsible. And if they're responsible, they're able. Something happens, they know what to do. If you've given them the right values, if you've given them the right destination, if you've set their goal of what we need to achieve as a business, they are responsible. And if they're not the right people, then that's a different question. But assuming you've got a good team, let them be what they need to be, what they want to be. Let them achieve what they want to achieve for you. Give them the freedom to be awesome. People won't grow until you let them go. And that reminds me that the thought of that was when my youngest daughter, Amelia, was just learning to ride a bike. And I'm running behind her. We've got lanes here. I'm out in the countryside, and we've got big dikes either side. And I'm running behind her, worried that if I let go, she's going to fall off, more worryingly that she's going to go in the dike. But you know, if you've ever ridden a bike, we need to learn to fall off if we're going to learn to ride. We need someone to let us go. Now, as a parent, you don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to get damaged. You don't want an accident to happen. That's just like leading a business. You don't want people to fall over. You don't want them to make mistakes. You don't want failure in your business. You want it all to be successful. But the problem is you're never letting them go. And so you're trying to spin all these plates. It's like, this employer, I've got to tell them what to do. This employer, I've got to tell them what to do. And you could probably do that up to 5 or 6 people. But the reason 99% of all businesses, 5.5 million of the 5.6 million businesses in the UK have got less than 10 employees is because they can't possibly spin more plates than that. Unless you start delegating down, building a structure, building an organogram, getting a team of people that you let them go to do the job, to be the leaders they can be, they will never grow. Let them go if you want them to grow. The next thing I want to talk about is sales. Everyone needs to sell. Oh, but I'm not a salesman, Mike. I hear that so often. I'm not a salesman, Mike. Everyone sells themselves all the time. You sell yourself to your partner in the hope that they'll be attracted to you. You're constantly trying to get friends to see you as a friend, to recognize you as someone they can rely on. We're selling our attributes all the time. But somehow we seem to have built this kind of headspace that says people hate salesmen, people hate selling. And the reality is people love buying. I mean, my God, people go through social media, Instagram, and they buy shit they don't need with money they ain't got to impress people they don't like. But suddenly they think, I can't sell. I don't like to sell, Mike. I'm not that pushy person. And in fact, someone said to me just last week when I was mentoring them, one of the things I say when I meet with people in their homes, Mike, selling them, I won't say which system, but when I'm selling them this, I say, well, I'm not a salesperson, but why the hell would you say that? You are a salesperson. What you need to say is, well, I'm not going to push this on you, but we've been going 40 years. My dad started the business. We're now running the business. We've installed over 1,000 or 100,000 of these. We have got a reputation that others would die for locally. And you could probably find someone cheaper if you wanted it, if price was your thing. But you know what? We are the best. We've been around 4 decades. We're not going anywhere. We're going to look after you. We're going to make sure you get a great result from us. And we'll be here to pick up or follow up on any issues if you have them. Now, if you wanted to pay a deposit today, I could come and install that next Wednesday. Do you want to place the order? Ask for the order. You know, people may not like being sold to, but they do love buying. So if we can make that selling process such that we are solving a problem, such that we are answering their question. And often when leads come through, or people come into our store, or people come into our restaurant, or people come onto our website, they're coming because there's an established interest there. You've got to ask yourself, what are they looking for? Do you jump in at the wrong point? Do you go straight for the sell, Or do you listen first, 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that order? Let me listen to what their needs are. If I hear what their needs are, I can maybe solve that solution. I can maybe give them an answer to those needs. And if we sell in a way that is a solution, as opposed to trying to push something on them they don't want or don't need, then actually we're just answering a response to their need or desire to buy. People are buying all the time. People love buying. They just don't like being sold to. You are a salesperson until you accept that you're a salesperson, and you either sell yourself in your business to your team as to why you're a good leader, sell yourself in your business to your customer base, sell yourself to everyone who sees your brand as to why that brand is good, better, best in your sector. If you keep apologizing for sale, that might be one of the reasons why you're not getting the sales. The next thing is when people need great employees, or they've got average employees, and they're kind of scared to make the commitment. Whether it's a commitment to getting a mentor on board, or an external advisor, or making that high level employee, or getting someone in who they can delegate some of their responsibility to, so they can step up or step aside to a different product, a different division, a different opportunity. Okay. Part of that is about committing to the best people. Okay. And what people often say to me is, Mike, I really want you to help me. I've heard about your mentoring, and so-and-so and so-and-so said you really helped them. They 10x their business. And I'm telling you, if I don't get you 10 times the return on profits to my cost, I'll give you your money back. I know if you follow what I teach you, if you follow the strategy, if you implement the plan, you will get at least 10 times the profit, not sales, the profit relative to my cost, okay? But what people say is, Mike, I've got the world's best business. Oh, yeah, we're going to be the new Facebook, the new Red Bull, the new Tesla, the new whatever it is. We're amazing. I'm doing really, really well. I say, great. Well, let's take it to the next level. Let's build a strategy. This is what you need to do. This is what my package looks like. Do you want to get cracking? Oh, well, can't afford it just yet, Mike. Hang on a minute. Weren't you the most successful person in the area 30 seconds ago? Didn't you have an amazing business that's growing like stink? You can't afford a couple of grand to 10x your business? Stop bullshitting me and stop bullshitting yourself. Okay, either tell me the truth. I've got some problems, Mike, and I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. I can help you with that. I've helped people who are literally tried to kill themselves, people who are addicted to drugs, people who are going through divorce, people who are literally on that spiral towards bankruptcy. If I know the truth, I can turn it around. Don't bullshit me. If you've got a problem or you need a solution, then let's have a conversation. But don't blow smoke up my ass. I don't need it. And more importantly, you don't need it, because you are kidding yourself if you're not honest with people, and if you don't make that commitment to get the best people, whether that's an external mentor, whether that's an internal hire, or whether that's you stepping back to allow some people to grow. The next point I want to make is know your numbers, know your sales numbers, know your turnover, know the profit that drops through to the bottom line, and know what's in the bank every single day. It blows my mind that people come to me and I say, right, tell me your turnover. Oh, we did this last year, and that may be 5 months ago. Yeah, but what are you doing this year? What are you on track for? Or I don't know, the accountant hasn't done the accounts yet. Okay, how much did you make last year? Or the accountant hasn't done the accounts yet. Excuse my French, but you fucking what? We're 5 months into the year and you don't know what your actual turnover or profit was last year. You could be going broke. Oh yeah, but I'm not a finance person. I'm not an accountant, Mike. I'm a dentist. I'm a plumber. We sell drinks. I don't care what you are. If you don't know the numbers, you're going out of business. I mean, it's just a reality. And I'm telling you, and I'm harsh on it because I went bust at 27. Not only did I go bust, I went bankrupt. Not only did I go bankrupt, Jules and I became homeless. And that is not a comfortable place to be. Why? Because I didn't know the numbers. I didn't understand the importance of knowing the numbers. Why do you need to know the numbers, Mike? Because the numbers never lie. Sometimes people will say to me, I'll work on 25 or 30% margin, Mike. I say, great. How much you got in the bank then? Oh, no, we're a bit tight on cash. We ain't making 30% margin. Yeah, no, we do, because and they're working out, this is what I've charged and this is my cost. They don't even know the difference between markup and margin. That's massive. And I'll go into it on another session, or Google the difference between markup and margin. You might think you're marking up 30%. That's probably only giving you a 21 or 22% margin. So firstly, you're a big chunk away from what you think you are. Secondly, if your costs aren't in control and you're not marrying that to your margin, then you're still probably losing money. The numbers never lie. Get to know the numbers. One of the first things I did after being bankrupt was sign up to an Institute of Directors, Finance for Non-Financial Managers. Part of the mentoring I do with people is, do we know a cash flow? Can we read a cash flow? Do we understand how that works? Have we got a cash flow 6 months out? Do we know what a P&L looks like? Do we know the triggers that we should be looking for? Get to know those numbers. And if you really don't know, or really can't get your head into it, or really want to avoid it, get a great accountant that every single week can send you that report, tell you where you are. And at the end of every month, tell you how you did that month. And literally within days of finishing the year, tell you where the year ended up. Now, they might then take some adjustments before they submit your accounts, but you know the numbers, you know where you are, you know you're making money. Because if not, you want to readjust. If you were on a journey, you'd put it in the sat nav and then you'd ignored the turn-ins and you realize you're going off in the right direction. What would you do? You'd change direction back towards where you want to be. And you would reset that map. And the sooner you know you're going in the wrong direction, the better. You wouldn't go months or hours even on a journey without knowing you're on track. The numbers never lie. Finance is important. In fact, most businesses that go bust in the UK go business because of lack of cash, not lack of opportunities. Go bust with full order books, but the inability to finance them. And by the time they realize they've got a real hole, no bank wants to lend. Why? Because they're a liability that's spiraling fast. The numbers never lie. The next one is perfection paralysis. Sometimes we can be so caught up in making something perfect. Even more worrying if we try and do that before we even launch. Yeah, I'm not quite ready yet, Mike. I know we said we'd launch on the 1st of February, but I'm going to have to go back a few weeks. I just need to put a few more things in order. Perfection paralysis, or the paralysis of analysis. If you are looking for perfection, it doesn't exist. If you think of a religious concept, if you like, whatever your religion, there's probably only one person, the God of that religion, who is perfect. Everyone else is faulted. And there's nothing wrong with being faulted. If you look at Shoma Morita as a Japanese philosophy, we are all perfectly imperfect. You do not have to be perfect to be successful. In fact, I remember when we did the Charlie Mullins podcast and Charlie said, at first I thought I had to be the best and do everything right. He said, but then I realized if I had a week where I did 70% right, I made money. If I had a week where I did 70% wrong, I lost money. But I didn't have to be 90% or 95 or 99, Mike. Just needed to be more right than wrong. So set off and course correct. We can always fine tune. We should always aim to be better, but we do not let our imperfections or our lack of perfection stop us from taking action now. Don't wait till it's perfect. It'll never be perfect. Set off and course correct. You are perfectly imperfect as you are, and we're going to see what we can enhance along the way. But a team that's hungry, a team that's focused, a team that might be slightly fallible and not perfect, but are moving, will always outperform the most intelligent, inactive team. Don't wait till it's perfect. Don't get caught up in perfection paralysis. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Success is a System. Come back every fortnight to hear tips, tricks, and systems to make you the best business person you can be. Visit my website, mikegreen.co.uk for information on my mentorship and follow on all my socials for bite-sized pieces of advice. Thanks very much. Now let's jump back into this week's episode. The next point I want to talk about is the secrets of success. How many times have you heard that? Pay me this money, I'll give you the secrets of success. Come along to this day, you'll learn the secrets of success. Now, I get that a secret is maybe something you just don't know, but actually there's not many secrets of success. It's a system, it's a science. It is not about secrets and snake oil. So if someone's trying to suck you in to part with your cash or to believe that it's a secret or there's some special snake oil we can rub over ourselves to become successful, stop believing that bullshit. Success is a science. Success is a system. And what's great about that is there are people that have studied that science, that have studied those systems, that have maybe gone through the pain and experienced the failure to create a system that you can emulate. What did they do differently, better, best that you can emulate? What did Charlie Mullins do that made him successful? What did Dame Mary Archer do that made us so successful? What did Julie Spence do that made us successful? What did Alfie Best do that took him from a roadside caravan as a gypsy to being a billionaire? What are the systems and science of success? Now, as a behavioural profiler and a doctor of education, having been to a school that was a demonised depository for social waste, and then having studied and became a behavioural profiler and looked at how we need to evolve education because it's failing more people than it's helping at the moment, but understanding that it is a science, that it is a system, I now dedicate my life, a big part of it, to meeting with people who have been outstandingly successful in different fields, whether that's a sport, whether that's music, whether that's business, whatever it is. What are the systems and behaviours that they used that you can emulate? So whatever your chosen field is, there's probably someone who's outstanding in that field. There's probably someone who has gone from low or no beginning really up to astronomical success. What did they do that you're not doing? And you know what? When you find that system, the other mistake people make, and this brings me on to my next point, if you only follow me 90%, you might as well not follow me at all. If I have a system that every single time is going to take you from A to B, let's say A to B was a raging river, but I can tell you a system that's going to let you cross that safely, unharmed, every single time. And then you say, oh, I've done 90% of it, Mike, like some people do when we meet on monthly sessions. Have you done those things we talked about that are going to help your business, that are going to propel you forward? Well, I've done most of it, Mike. I've done 90% of it, Mike. If you followed 90% of a system to safely get you across a raging river or to safely get you out of harm's way, what would happen to you? You're going to die, Dodo. So what we need to do is, if you don't follow it all, don't follow it at all, because nearly there is never really there. Almost done is no good. Better than average. What's average? Top of the bottom, bottom of the top, cream of the crap. Who wants to be average? We're not listening to this. You're not following me. You're not following other people. You're not setting dreams to be average. You're setting dreams. You're setting goals. You're following people that will hopefully teach you something to be exceptional. So start following those people, listening to those systems, finding out who's done what you want to do and achieved amazing success. Emulate it and improve on it. Emulate it and improve on it. Don't judge it from your position of lack of performance. And when you find that system, follow that system. If you are taught how to make a world-class Michelin chef level recipe, a meal, and you decide, I'm going to put a different product in, I'm going to put more of this in, I'm going to change the method, don't be surprised when it turns out looking like a bowl of dog food. If you want that world-class meal, that world-class success, then emulate success. Find the system, find the science, follow the system, follow the science. Success is not snake oil or secrets. Success is science and systems. The next thing that fails a lot of people is lack of time. I just haven't got time, Mike. I know exactly what I need to do, Mike, but I haven't got time. I love it when people say that. I would love to follow them, to put a camera on their wall, because I know the average person watches 30 hours of telly a week, or content, whether it's Netflix or on screen or whether they're on social media. 30 something hours. Oh, that's ridiculous, Mike. I'm far too busy. I don't do that. We stop in a lay-by. We could be calling somebody. We could be listening to a podcast. We could be learning, but no, we're going through crap. We're not using that time. Time management, being in control of your time, prioritizing the things you do with that time, being aware of what's urgent because it's ringing now, as opposed to important that we need to get done, is the difference. And the way I often explain it when I'm working with mentees is, time is the great leveler. Time is the one thing nobody has more of than anyone else. You know, you could say, oh, it's all right for him, he's got more money than me. It's all right for her, she had better parents who brought her up. It's all right for him, he went to a better school, got a better education. It's all right for them, they've grown up in a different era that was easier than it is now, Mike. All of those may be true to some degree, but what they can never say is they had more time than me. A homeless person has the same amount of time as Elon Musk. They just use their time differently. A bankrupt has the same amount of time as a millionaire. They just use their time differently. And you know what? If you really get that 168 hours every single week, focus on something for just 15 minutes a day. That's 90 hours a year. 90 hours of studying something can teach you quite a lot about it. How many 15-minute slots have you got in a day? You know, literally, if you've ever been into music, they say 15, 20 minutes every day. Not now and again, every day. And 15 minutes every day on an instrument can take you from being someone who makes people's ears bleed because the music's so awful, through to playing in a philharmonic orchestra within a few years, through to being at the highest possible levels. Equally, if you focus, dedicate the time, manage your time, be aware of time stealers, it can transform your life. Literally, the people who understand how to flex time, how to exploit time, how to make the most of their time, how to stop those time stealers, they achieve world-class results relative to the average. You know, the people who set goals, written goals, use their time, earn 20 times on average the average person who doesn't set goals, doesn't manage their time, and just ambles along in life. Don't be a time waster. Don't let people steal your time, control your time, and make the most of your time. Now, does that mean I never rest or I've got to be working all the time? Of course not. But I can have what I call mindful mindlessness, time when I allow myself to just do nothing. I allow myself to just be. I allow myself to binge watch some Netflix, but I've dedicated that time. I'm aware of that time. I know how that time fits into all of the other things I've got to do. It is not in control of me. I am in control of it. If you get this thing on time, you can become an Elon Musk as opposed to a homeless person. And you know, oh yeah, well, I'm not at either of those extremes, Mike. I'm somewhere in the middle. Wherever you are, wherever your goal, you can be the best of that if you can really grasp time and understand time. And actually, the more you get to really understand and control time, the more it seems to get bigger. You know, an hour can seem much longer when you really exploit that hour. When you say to somebody, look, I've got 7 minutes for a quick call, let's do this. It's amazing how condensed the focus, the content, the usage of that 7 minutes is. Whereas we might only have 7 minutes of necessary content that we fluff out to fill an hour. And that's a part of our day gone. Focus on time. Don't let time manage you. Manage your time. The next one is competition. Now, listen, I'm always benchmarking. I always want to know how are we doing versus the market, how are we doing versus the average, even though you've heard my sayings on average, and how are we doing versus the best in the market. But that's something I do on a weekly basis for maybe an hour when we're looking at the numbers and we're looking at how we're doing and who's doing better and what we could do differently, better, best to move up that scale towards the best in class and then beyond. Okay, I don't spend all my time looking over my shoulder and looking at what other people are doing. If you think of a car and competitors being in the side view mirror or the rear view mirror, they're like 1%, 3% of our vision. The vast focus of our vision should be on where we're going, what's in front of us, and where our destination is. Like the windscreen is so much bigger than the rear view or the side mirrors. Focus on where you're going, focus on what you're doing, focus on your goal, what you need to do to get from where you are to get to that goal, the actions and initiatives you need to take, that one-page mapping that I talk about and teach. If you focus on being the best possible you and being better than you were last week, you will become outstanding. You will become the leader in your field. If you're constantly distracted on what everyone else is doing and how much better they are than you, or even slagging them off and they're not good, they're not this, they're not the other, don't focus on them. Focus on you. And if you speak to any world-class athlete, as an example, I remember we had Colin Black speak at an event, and what he was saying is he was always getting silver, bronze, silver, bronze, bronze, silver, never got gold until one of his coaches said, I noticed that when you're getting towards the end of a race, you're constantly looking behind to see where the others are or distracted. Stop it. Stop looking back, stop looking beside you, focus on the future, be the best you, run your best race, and you'll win every time. And I'd say that when it comes to that distraction, keep focused, focus on being the best you. People trust emotions rather than data. How many times do I have to say the numbers never lie? The data never lies. People often say, yeah, but I've got a gut feel, Mike. Acknowledge that gut feel. Wonder where it's coming from. Maybe even challenge where it's coming from. Oh, yeah, but I've got a feeling about this. Or, oh, yeah, I thought. Thoughts and feelings are not facts. And people are so often distracted by a feeling or a thought about this. Or, oh, sorry, Mike, I just thought that. Don't think, deal in facts. Now, are feelings and thoughts important? Of course they are, but they are not facts. So when you get a thought or a feeling that's distracting you, look into the facts. If you get a gut feel about something, get the facts to see if they support it. If someone says, oh, yeah, but I thought that, talk about the facts, come back to the facts. Look for the supporting facts to the thoughts and feelings you're having. And often these thoughts and feelings, they can be something that propels you, but more often they're something that anchors you. So what we want to be saying is a thought and a feeling is not a fact. Deal in facts. The stats and numbers never lie. And if you focus on the stats and numbers or the facts, if they support the feeling, it's a good thing. If the facts are lying or contra to the thoughts and feelings, look at what's really happening rather than what you're thinking or feeling or might be anchored by. Don't trust emotion all the time. Our brain is our biggest cheerleader, but it can be our biggest enemy. We have more conversations with ourselves than we do ever anyone else in any single day. And if we're going in a negative loop with those thoughts and feelings, it can spiral down very quickly. And whenever I found myself making decisions on thoughts or feelings, I revert to the facts. I revert to the numbers. Oh, yeah, but if it feels like we're doing all the right stuff, Mike, I really believe that we're going to do well. Are the numbers supporting that? Don't kid yourself. If those numbers aren't coming in, don't kid yourself. The thoughts and feelings are not facts. Follow the stats, not the thoughts and feelings. The next thing is the people you employ. Firstly, you can't have a business without people. And you know what? 4.4 million of the 5.6 million businesses in the UK have no people. They have 0 employees. They are an individual self-employed person. Now, you've heard me probably say before about the fact they're probably the worst employer in the UK. They treat themselves terribly. They make themselves work all the hours. They make themselves answer the phone 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They don't give themselves sick pay when they're not well. They probably only give themselves a week or two's holiday a year, not the 5 or 6 that employees enjoy. If you're not going to employ people, you are self-employed. If you're self-employed, at least make sure you're a good employer. But if you really want to grow a business, if you want to be successful, you're going to need to employ people. There is no business of scale, of massive success, that does not employ people or does not have key people at the heart of it. And people might say, oh yeah, but Uber, Mike, they don't employ most of their people. Well, look what's happening. They're being forced to treat them like employees. But even while the drivers were self-employed, they were still employing people at a marketing, at a finance, at a structural, operational, strategic level. They still employed people. If you want to be successful, you need to employ people. And then you need to ask yourself, how do I attract, train, motivate, and retain the best people? Attracting talent, training talent, keeping, motivating, maintaining talent is what it's about. However great you are, firstly, you probably think you're greater than you are, but however great you are, you're still one person. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. You can do so much more with your head, building winning teams that could be 1,000 people, or like General Electric, 300,000 people, or like some of the big supermarkets, hundreds of thousands of people. With numbers, with good teams, with good talent, with systems that you teach that talent, ordinary people to do extraordinary things, you can build amazing businesses. But on your own, you'll always be wallowing in mediocrity. The last one I want to talk about today is focusing on problems first and systems second. This one goes across many of the different areas where people think, Mike, I just need to sort this. It's like, I've got to put out this fire before I can put that right. Systems first to deal with the problems. If you put the systems first to deal with the problems. Now, listen, once I had a fire, it's probably, my girls were little, so probably 15 years ago. Okay, it was in the back room there, and there was a treadmill in there at the time. The gym's outside now, but it used to be in. There's a treadmill in there. That treadmill shorted, and it caught fire. There was rubber smoke, which is dangerous. So it was about 8 o'clock at night. The girls were in bed, and Jules was busy. I got them out of the house. I tried to put it out. We made the 999 call. Now, where we live, it came from 2 different areas, 2 different fire stations sent out crews. They arrived a few minutes after each other. The house is burning by then, that whole corner of the house on fire, smoke everywhere, smoke damaged the whole house and everything in it. Now, when the firemen arrived, did they just say, "Oh, I've got to put out the fire, we've got to put out the fire"? No, because a fire can destroy a house. A house can be rebuilt. They will never put people at risk. So they default, even with all that fire going on, they default to their systems. Well, they walked around with a little A board. A guy put it up. He got his little pen out, and there were two teams there. He said, "Look, do you want to lead on this because you got here first?" "No, it's really your postcode, but we came in case you didn't get here first. You do it." I think, bloody hell, will you just get on and put the fire out? And they say, "Right, how many crew have you got?" 8. I've got 6. Okay, 8, 6. Okay. What time have you got? I got 8:22. What time have you got? Oh, I got 8:23. Oh, let's go with 8:22. Okay, what do we know about the fire? Is it electric or is it something else? I think it's electric. We think it's because he said it's in the gym. It's probably an electrical piece of equipment. Okay, and I'm writing this down, and I said, "Excuse me, mate, will you just fucking get in and put the fire out?" And they said, "Is anyone in the house?" I said, No, the kids are sitting in the car. I got them out. They're fine. He said, "Well, we're not going to put someone's life at risk. We can rebuild a house. We can't rebuild a person." And then they go in, and yet people think, "I'm going to charge in there. I'm going to be the hero that puts the fire out." In opening that door, they expose it to more oxygen, which feeds the flames. It becomes a bigger problem. Sometimes the most obvious, immediate, instinctive response will add more fuel to the flames, as opposed to stepping back, stop, breathe, and think. When you stop, your body isn't needing so much oxygen for your limbs, so it sends more oxygen to the brain. So that stop, breathe, think is not just a kind of saying. It lets you think more clearly because you've stopped, taken a breath. Right, where are we? What do we do? What's the best thing? So systems before problems, not problems. I'll deal with it. I'll put a system in place when I've dealt with this, Mike, and then, hey, presto, another problem comes up. They never get around to building systems. The most successful companies on the planet, the most successful people on the planet recognize that success is a system, as I mentioned earlier. So don't focus on your problems. Let them happen if they have to for a while. Build a system that will eradicate that problem forever, not just focusing on fixing the problem today, and it will come up again and again and again. Listen, I've talked about some of the things that stop people being successful, some of the things that I mentor to that come up again and again and again and again. You know, some of the things I've talked about here, they might seem small in and of themselves and individually. Any one of them could transform your life, your personal success, or your business. Collectively, they could 10x you in the next year. And I can confidently say that because I have done that with so many people, so many businesses. And along the way, there might be other things that we can talk about that we can help you with. Now, if you're interested in finding about mentoring, go on to Mike Green, with an E on the end of green.co.uk, mikegreen.co.uk, and drop us a note. Ask us to drop you some information about mentoring or to make contact. I personally will ring you and we can have a quick 10, 15 minutes on how I might be able to help you, whether you're interested in my help. Either way, I wish you outstanding success. If this has been useful, please like, share, and come back again for some more content on success as a system in the future.